This is episode 1 of the Rise Up podcast. We're a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. This podcast is a weekly conversation to help you think and grow in your faith. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode. And find out more about our show at familylife.org.
You're not late. You're right on time. And we're glad you're here. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
I go to the doctor's the other day. I get ready to leave, and she hands me kind of this to-do list. I'd never seen anything like it, right? And it was like, make an appointment for this and get this blood work. And also, you're due for a colonoscopy.
Ooh,
and I was like, whoa, when did I get to be colonoscopy age? And she said, well, they ask for them younger now. I think she was trying to make me feel better. But I was like, I just barely got to mammogram age. And now it's like colonoscopy age. Like there are certain milestones you get to in life where it's like, I didn't know I was at that age,
That person now. Yeah, right.
Well, or have you ever been to parenthesis age? Because now if you're going to do that, you're going to have a semicolon.
That's terrible. We are Steve, Terese, and Tim from the Family Life Rise Up show. Welcome to our podcast.
On that note, welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you're not retirement old. Because all my friends that I went to school with, and I'm still good buddies with, there's 5 of us total.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we're still real close, and all of them are retired. And they're asking me when are you going to be retired? So why would I retire? I get to do what I do. And
plus you don't really have a real job. Like I think you'd have to have a real job in order
that's
to
true.
be able to. No,
That's
but
a
I
good
mean,
point.
have you always had this kind of work ethic that you thought you would work this long, or is it just that you enjoy doing what you do?
I just enjoy it. I can't imagine not doing it. Like they always talk about, okay, you're colonoscopy age. I'm retirement age, but they're wanting the break from what they do. And it's like, I'd rather not have this energizes. What I do energizes.
It's like that never work a day in your life
Exactly.
kind of principle. Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
cool.
So that does make me feel younger, even though I have had the colonoscopy, Teresa. It's okay.
I'll make it through. Do you think that it has to do with it being ministry, Steve, that there's something about doing ministry that you kind of don't ever get to retire from?
That helps. I mean, I had done non-ministry radio for a long time, and it was still fun, but it puts the best of both worlds. You're like, what are your passions in life? People
Right.
always ask you, what are your passions in life? Well, Jesus and radio, and you put them together, and you get to do that. So, I think ministry certainly plays a part, Teresa.
Yeah. I mean, as myself, somebody newer to this field, I'm excited to hear what you're saying, Steve. And nice to know that I can look forward to your longevity at your age when I'm there. As a new parent myself, I'm I guess you could say life insurance age. That's kind of one of those weird things.
Do you have a will yet?
Life insurance? Well, I just have a daughter. Steve has a will.
No, but they say that when you have kids, that's when you're like, okay, now we need to write the will. Like, what if something happened to you and Trinity? You would want to make sure that Rory was taken care of.
This isn't supposed to be depressing, is it, Terese?
No, but this is the thing. You start to grow up and you go across these milestones, and you're like, oh, it's not always fun being a grown up.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's true. It's these things you got to think of, and you realize, wow, that's where I'm at. Actually, what's funny is the age I'm on the other side of now, though I remember when I just entered this kind of parentheses, this age, it's a bracketed period for young men in the country when you're draft age and when you're not draft age. Yeah, it's kind of grim. Sometimes you're looking at the international goings on and you think, how long do I have here before I'm outside of draft age? Yeah, I'm now happily on the other side of that.
But if you want to look forward to something now that you brought up, you said you felt a little down. Wait till you get to the age where you can say, do you take senior citizen discounts here at the restaurant? That's a good age, dude. Audrey, my wife, always
Cash
says,
in on
ask
that.
them if they have a senior citizen discount.
That's so funny because there are some people who get offended. Like if you walked into a place and they tried to give you like a senior price on the coffee or whatever, they would be like, I'm not that old. And then there's other people that'd be like, give me that discount.
We're always looking for that discount. So that's one of the advantages, Tim. You look forward to that in many, many decades from now.
Yeah. Many, of course.
So are you going to get the colonoscopy, Terese? I don't mean to get
Stop
personal
it.
here.
Well, at a certain point, I'm going to have to. I think that's kind of a requirement. But, it's funny, Tim, because you're going to be seeing all these first with your daughter.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
how old is Rory now?
Oh, just a little over 3 months.
And you've already got first smile out of the way. Have you had the first time
know.
sleeping through the night yet?
We have, yeah. In fact, we had
the
that so
best.
early. Our pediatrician was saying, yeah, you might actually want to wake her up, remind her to eat a little bit there. But yeah, no. So we did have that, which is pretty cool. I'm told I'm spoiled to have that. But yeah, the first, we're still waiting on the first giggle. And it's like every day we're doing these goofy things. Anybody else would be laughing seeing us, but she's not quite there yet. She's a real tough cookie to crack. She will smile, big
Right.
as all get out, but no giggles yet. Still waiting on the giggles.
And then you're going to have like the first step and all the first
Oh, that's
foods
terrifying though. But
Right.
that's scary.
I know.
Like they're
and
mobile.
then you're going to have the first day of school. And then you're going to blink and you're going to have what I just experienced, which is the last first day of school. Because my daughter just entered her final semester in college. And it was kind of weird. Like I was like, oh, last first day of school. But I did okay. Like I didn't cry, but I wonder if on the last day of school, it'll hit me. You know, and it's funny because you go through these different seasons and it's tempting to look back, especially with kids, and say like, oh, I miss this or I miss that, or remember when they, were just a little baby and we had to hold them all the time. But I think sometimes that the enemy likes to use that against us is kind of like, oh, what you're getting now isn't the best. But,
Right.
But like
sure.
every season, God has something for you that's the best. And so it's just important to keep that in mind. And it's neat that we can be in all these different seasons, but it would be good if there was like an owner's manual for you, like there is for your car. Like at 10,000 miles, you need to get this done and this done and this done, because they don't really tell you like, oh, at this, you want to do this. And if you don't have a good relationship with your doctor, you might not get the colonoscopy note like I got.
Hey, Terese, as an encouragement to Tim, do you find this, as Tim, a first-time parent, do you look back now and your kids, and both of my kids are both married now and moved on, and you look back to that when they were Rory's age, less than a year old, and even maybe a few years, and you look back and you go like, how did we ever get through that? I mean, I don't understand, like, maybe affording things or just different things, or how'd you get through that? And you talked about depending on God and having God in the middle of it. You just look back. There's so many ways to say, like, thank you, Lord. I had no idea how I was going to get through that, or how did we get through it? But God gets you through all these things.
Wow.
Because you look at a lot of mountains ahead, and you
Right.
and you do look at those mountains. You're like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that?
Oh, that means a lot. I really appreciate hearing that.
You
At the
look
press.
back and you go like, oh, okay, God did that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just standing at the foot, what feels like the foot of a mountain sometimes. And of course, what's real, the perspective here is where I'm standing now was a mountain to my past self, 5 years ago, imagining, right, having a kid and all this stuff. So, yeah, I guess we are always kind of pressing forward, further up and further in. But it's the example of people who've gone before us that really kind of helps you through those tough times. So I really do appreciate hearing that. It's like, yes, there is a light at the end. We will be able to get up this. We will be able to make the next marker. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something very biblical about that, the idea of those who have gone before, because in Titus 2, it tells us, teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-controlled and sound in faith, in love and in endurance. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but teach what is good. Then they can urge the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands, so that no one will malign the word of God. Similarly, encourage the young men to be self-controlled. In everything, set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about you. And so I think this is neat that the three of us are in these very different stages of life, because it allows us the opportunity to love and learn from one another. And so often in any culture, but especially in church culture, we kind of do this weird thing where it's like, okay, if you're a 20-something, this is your group. And if you're single, this is your group. And if you're retired, this is your group. But if we keep the singles in their own group, how will they learn from people in relationships? And if we keep the younger people segregated from the older people, how will they, teach and train up the younger people? And there's something about a real community that that transcends age, I guess, right?
Right.
Tim, you'll also look forward to the age, I don't think you're there yet, when you go to buy shoes and you say, should I get the slip-ons or the ties? Because the slip-ons are so much easier. I don't feel like bending down.
This is how you know you've gotten to a certain age, when you know the brand and size of shoe that you like. And so then you just go online, and whichever color is the cheapest, those are the ones that you get. And you don't even have to like break them in when you get them. That's how it is now with me and sneakers. Like I have a certain style and size, and I don't, whatever color the swish is irrelevant. Like just whatever, whatever ones are cheaper. And I realized the other day, I was like, oh man, because I probably have like 3 pairs of those sneakers in boxes, because when I see them on sale, I'm like, oh, get another pair, when you find that you have a pair of sneakers that you love.
And then, Terese, you can look forward to the day when you can ask for that senior citizen discount on the shoes.
With my orthopedic inserts, right?
Look, I was into Velcro shoes way before I was the age to be into Velcro shoes.
Isn't that funny how they're both for like children and Steve?
Yeah.
Well, you seem mature beyond your years, Tim. That's what it is.
Well, that's what I said when I couldn't tie my shoes in kindergarten. Look, I'm just mature, okay? I'm ready for Velcro shoes again. That's all. I came back around the track.
You are a wise young man, and we're just so excited to see what happens in your life. It's kind of fun, isn't it, Steve, to like look back on somebody who's younger, who's going through the things that you've been through, just to watch, you know?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, because even with your own kids, and then you see other people, or your own kids, you know that they're going through things, and it's like, you know they'll get through it. And you'll know, that kind of thing. And your prayers are that they'll, get through it in a way that just honors God. Because you don't see any other way. So, yes, it is exciting to have Tim on board here. And we'll see how everything develops every day. And then someday he'll get that thing in the mail that says AARP.
What's ARP, honey?
I think they start sending you those when you turn 30.
Oh, I know. That's decades ago for me. They're old.
Oh, well, if your senior discount doesn't work, go hang out with Steve. He can get you anything at a reduced price. And no matter what age you are, you're never too old or too young to grow in your faith. There's never a point where we know everything there is to know about God. We are never fully finished until we're in glory with him. So much to work for and to work toward during our time here on earth.
Amen.
We might not know what God has planned for today, but we're going to face it together. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Well, you've heard of the charcuterie board, right? So you do like meats and cheeses and maybe some fruit and some nuts. Very fancy, but maybe you're not that fancy. Maybe you would like this alternative to the charcuterie board. It's this little plastic container. The lid snaps down on it, but inside are these little tiny compartments, like little boxes that might hold like fishing lures and
I get the picture.
Hooks and things like that. But maybe you don't fish.
I don't.
Especially not this time of year. Okay, but you do like snacks.
I do love
right?
snacks.
Right. So you cut up your little cheese cubes and your crackers and your nuts and you put them inside here and you've got yourself a snackle box.
Snackle box.
Now you want one, right?
Oh, you're trying to lure me into that one, aren't you?
We hope the rest of your day is just as much fun as this. You're listening to Rise Up on Family Life.
Sometimes you get cold just looking at what somebody else is wearing in this kind of weather. It's like, put on a hat. You're out there. Any part of your body that's exposed is going to freeze if it's not covered. That's how I feel when I look at our fine feathered friends. I'm wondering how they do it, because we all know they've got those nice down feathers keeping them warm. But if you're like me, you're shivering thinking about these other very significantly unfeathered parts of the bird body. Their legs.
Their feet.
Yeah, their legs. Exactly,
Yeah.
their legs and their feet. Well, it turns out this is one of those moments where you got to just give God credit. He knows what he's doing with his creation. Birds have different circulation in their feet than in the rest of their body. So that because otherwise the blood that cools down in their legs would bring down the temperature of their internal organs when it got back up to them. They've got different circulation in one part of their body in their legs than in the other, their core. So scientists haven't confirmed this yet. My theory is that there's another species that can do this.
What's that?
Every teenage guy waiting for the school bus in his gym shorts.
Are you ready to face the day? No? That's okay. You can hang out with us until you're ready. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Kitchen gadgets are kind of fun. You go, you take the banana slicer. Never bought one because I have a knife.
Right, but you see the reviews on Amazon and you're like, this thing is amazing.
I think we probably have a garlic press at home, but I've never used one.
I do not. I gave mine away.
Right. I mean, you can just smash it with a flat part
That's
of a
true.
knife. You know, you can
Right.
do all that kind of thing. So why do we even have some of these things? It's like the stove. Let's take the stove. You know, that looks nice, but it doesn't do much unless you use it.
Oh.
Oh, that Bible that's sitting on the coffee table. That looks nice.
Now you're getting close to home.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, why would we even have that unless we're going to use it?
Come on, you don't need any more beauty sleep. You look great. Thanks for listening to Rise Up on Family Life.
As long as the test is not in Swedish. I don't know Swedish. Anybody know
yeah,
any Swedish?
nope.
I'm not
I'd
sure.
fail
I know the Swedish chef from the Muppets.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The reason I bring up Swedish is because there's a new trend out there. It's kind of an exercise. It is an exercise. It's called plogging. 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 And it does deal with exercise. And the word plogging comes from the Swedish. And here's where I don't know how to pronounce it. It's plocka up. Or is that plocka oop? I'm not sure. But it means to pick up. Plocka up, which is where plogging comes from. So here's what it's become somewhat popular now. You go out jogging
Right.
with friends probably, or you can do it by yourself, but it's nice in a group. And you have a little trash bag with you. And you pick up trash along the way
wow.
as you're jogging. Plogging.
Yeah.
So it's all Swedish thing. So that's kind of neat. Now, don't be intimidated if someone who's experienced this, has been doing this for a while, and they invite you to go plogging. It's like, I don't know how to do this. And they go, that's all right. You'll pick it up.
Of course.
Whatever happens today, know that God's got it. You're listening to Rise Up on Family Life.
Cold, unhomed, forgotten. You've seen them along the side of the road, shoved to the edge of the parking lot. Won't you do something to help? This winter, billions of snowflakes will go unappreciated. Most people won't give them a second glance. It doesn't take much to give a snowflake a home in your heart. But let's face it, most Americans care more about a half-full bag of frost-covered tots in their freezer than for these natural beauties. What are you waiting for? Won't you give these little frozen friends a purpose? Put a smile on a snowflake's face today by making a snow angel, rolling up the perfect snowball, or just appreciating their simple beauty, one falling flake at a time. Because all of God's creation deserves our appreciation.
I'm an actual snowflake and I approve this message.